Step 1, wake up early, gonna rise with the sun. Step 2, get some good, some food in you. Step 3, think real hard about what you wanna be. Step 4, everybody just do your thing.
Wake up, today's gonna be a good day. 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 Yo, set your affirmations, aspirations. I got shit to do, the aftermath of preparation. Good food, good mood, blood in circulation. One step at a time, yeah, that's how you make it. Set a goal you control and the steps you take them. I try to pick one thought, have some concentration. And if I make a mistake, it's called education. I try to do this every day, call it replication. Wake up, today's gonna be a good day. 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 So life ain't easy, yo, I think there's a reason though. Ups and downs, just like every different season, yo. Sometimes I'm high, other times I'm barely breathing, though. I always gotta fight and hide from the demons, yo. Negative thoughts are poison, they rot. Head full of flies, so here come the clouds. They'll never stop unless I can swap all the bad for the good in my head when I'm lost. Yeah, so I'ma fake it till I make it. Positive thoughts are overtaken, I got patience. One day at a time is how you operate a cadence. A flow, you grow, you show yourself a foundation. Stay away from all the shit that causes temptation. I know that I like to do it cause it's sensation. I live my life in my head like a narration. Don't expect greatness, do my best, man, I'll take it. Wake up, today's gonna be a good day. 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 Wake up, today's gonna be a good day.
Wake up early, gonna rise with the sun. Step 2, get some good, some food in you. Step 3, think real hard about what you wanna be. Step 4, everybody just do your thing.
Hi, Bullhorn Betty. Thank you for my shirt. Welcome to the Bullhorn Betty Kids Club.
Hey guys, Bullhorn Betty here. So there's something going on in my community and I need your help with. So this is a double homicide that happened in my community, but there's a lot more to this case than meets the eye. This is Thomas Matajek. He actually killed his mother and her boyfriend recently, but the problem here is he shouldn't even have been out of jail. He should have been in a mental hospital, and he is deemed incompetent to stand trial. This right here is our state attorney, and his name is Ed Brodsky. He has been our state attorney in the 12th district for some time. I recently learned our law enforcement officer, Sheriff Rick Wells, has arrested this guy many times and has prepared a case and sent that over to the state prosecutor. Ed Brodsky was supposed to litigate the matter. However, he ended up taking the felony case, reducing it to a misdemeanor, sending it to a misdemeanor court, and then just a month ago sent this deranged mental patient to a halfway house where he escaped and killed his mother. How can you help Bullhorn Betty? You can help Bullhorn Betty by saying, we will not accept this. This is unacceptable. Our law enforcement does their job and they send it over to the prosecutors just to let them go. Now, 2 people in my own backyard have lost their life because of these horrible and poor decisions at the hand of the state prosecutor, not law enforcement. So please, I ask you, is this going to be acceptable in your community as well? This is how you can help. If this case bothers you, if it disgusts you, if you realize 2 people should not be laying in the morgue right now, please consider giving Ed Brodsky a call and letting him know this is unacceptable from any state prosecutor.
I don't know why you won't meet us and try and help us. All we want to do is find Summer. It's so strange the way we keep coming down here and you keep dodging us. This is your daughter. We're the only ones that care.
He says, where are you going to search? Where almost 200 different police agencies have been searched already.
Somebody's there. There's a truck. There's his ugly work truck. They're home.
We're going to call Don Wells right now. We've been communicating with him via text, and he says that he can't join us in searching for Summer.
There's a whole bunch of trucks up there. They're home.
We've been communicating with Don Wells via text since we've been up here, asking him for help, saying, hey, come out and help us, come out, you know, we want your help to find Summer. He's been responding back and forth, says he couldn't meet us, you know. I said to him, we want to put our personal differences aside with you and Candace, and would like you both to come join us as we search for Summer together. Are you guys willing to do that? And, you know, I responded, hey, Don, please answer, have something to tell you important, okay. So we're trying to call Don, we're trying to meet him, we're trying to get him to come out with us to search for Summer Wells while we're in Tennessee, while we're the only group right now actively looking for Summer Wells. Just making excuses.
Summer Wells went missing June 15th, 2021 and hasn't been seen again. We are in the backwoods of Tennessee. We are here on Light Hollow Road. We're a little further down the road than we once were. We're just checking out this area. This is one area that we never really researched or really searched during the last 2.5 years that we've been covering the case. We followed this case from the very beginning to find out any information related to Summer Wells, where she may be, and who may be responsible for her disappearance. It has taken us on a almost 3-year journey here in Tennessee, Hawkins County, Tennessee, as we search for answers. This is where we heard Candace Bly was the day that Summer Wells disappeared. Where is Summer Wells? We are searching for any.
In the Crystal Rogers case, 2 of Kentucky's highest courts released big decisions today, both ruling against Brooks Houck. Houck is charged with murder in connection to the 2015 disappearance of Crystal Rogers. He was arrested in September and has been in jail on a $10 million bond since then.
Crystal Rogers is a mother of 5 beautiful kids that went missing on the July 4th weekend in 2015. Her boyfriend, Brooks Houck, came under heavy scrutiny about her disappearance back in 2015. Brooks Houck was later arrested after Joseph Lawson, and the case kind of died out. There was some major shocks in the case when the state prosecutor, Brooke Houck's hearing, tells the judge that his brother, Nick, might have been the one that shot Crystal's father, Tommy Ballard. If you're unfamiliar with this case, Crystal is a beautiful young lady that disappeared in 2015, and her father went out looking for her and searching. Well, during a hunting, what many thought was a hunting accident, he was shot to death. And apparently during this hearing for Brooks Houck, it was alleged that his brother Nick may have killed Crystal's father.
Waiting for testing to come back on the firearm we believe was used to murder Tommy Ballard, firearm that we purchased from Nicholas Houck, who was using a fake name
This case has a lot of twists and turns, and that's not it. In 2013, an officer was ambushed. His name is Jason Ellis. And people are starting to feel that this Jason Ellis is connected to this particular case with Crystal Rogers and Brooks Houck. So now we have 3 people arrested in connection with the death of Crystal Rogers, although her body has not yet been found.
The Chief Justice ruling today, Nelson County Judge Charles Sims will be staying on the case, writing, quote, the defendant failed to demonstrate any disqualifying circumstance that would require the appointment of a special judge. Houck will stay in jail on a $10 million bond until his trial. His next court date is set for February of next year.
What is up, my beautiful people of YouTube? It's nice to see you. Bullhorn Betty is present. I just came into the chat. We had 264 messages. I'm not going through them all, okay? I love you dearly, but it ain't happening this morning, cupcake. Cupcakes. Good morning. Good morning. It's nice to see everyone. But I am going to go up just a little bit and try to say hi to as many people as I can this morning. The Real Me Too. Good morning. Skittle World's Crimes. GG for Life. It's nice to see you. Angie, Manic Mama, T, Sweetie Pie up in the house. Drew, it's nice to see you. Princess Mike, it's nice to see you as well. Alabama Mama of 4. Good morning. Good morning. It's me, Jen. Darcy, it's nice to see you. Here we go, Horns. I didn't watch the Super Bowl last night, so you guys are going to have to fill me in on what happened. What happened? Tammy Sue, it's nice to see you. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Bye, you babe. I am Team Summer. Good morning, TL. It's nice to see you, Love Bug. Who else do we have up in here? I think I might have went over Devil Doll. It's nice to see you. I know Betty fans somewhere in here, so I'm going to say hi to her. I'm going to say hi to Sonia. I'm going to say hi to all of my beautiful, wonderful mods. Speculation Station, Crimson Crime, it's nice to see you. Good morning. Net L, good morning. It's nice to see you as well. I think we're getting to just about... And I want to give a big shout out. MJ, it's nice to see you. Let me just keep going here. I'm getting close to the end here. Just Deb, it's nice to see you as well. TLC is me. Good morning. James, it's nice to see you. Courtney, good morning. 3 Flying Doves, good morning, Love Bug. It's nice to see you. I think that might be it. I think I see Darcy. I think I said hi to Darcy already. So JB's Mama, it's nice to see you. Good morning, everybody. It's me, Deb. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. So, as you know, we've been covering a lot of cases, a lot of cases. One of the cases that we haven't been able to cover in just a little bit. Deb, it's nice to see you. Ronnie, good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Our beautiful Sonia. You guys got 2 days. I might be too late, but get with Sonia. She might be able to do something for you guys, for those people that are waited to the last minute for Valentine's Day. Everybody needs a little love, right? Everybody needs a little love. So it's good. There is some updates we have on Savannah Soto that I want to get to first thing this morning before we get into the Crystal Rogers case and Brooke Houck's and what's going on. Brooke Houck, what's going on in his case. And Lady 7 Up, good morning. Good morning. What else do we have? I wanted to give, there's 2 shout outs before we get started this morning. So the first shout out is to sorry, I'm going blank here. Misery, True Crime. What is it? Sweet Misery, True Crime sent me some things that I'm going to be able to utilize. I wanted to give her a shout out, sub her up. Also, Southern Grammy. She was at church yesterday. I was there was a lot of stuff going on, but I did stop and listen to the service, but I was just a little late to church yesterday. And I had an opportunity just to ask her how she was doing. She's still in the hospital, guys. So, but she was at church. So that's a positive, right? It's a positive. And why we do the online church as well, because look, I mean, she wouldn't have been able to go to church if we probably weren't there, right? I mean, if we didn't open this thing up. So she was able to attend church, but she is still in the hospital. She still needs all of our love and support and everything like that. So just wrap her with some love, say some prayers for her. You know, we want her to have a speedy recovery. Boy, she really did just, you know, she opened a business. She started getting involved with her community. And then boom, she got into a car wreck and now it's hospitalized. So anything possible that you can do. Yeah, I heard Dolly is out there. I love it. I love it. I love it when the creators get out there and go live from the scene. You know, I mean, there's so much more. We are the next generation of news. And so if we're going to be doing that, we need to be out there covering this in a news perspective. And thank God for Dolly. Dolly's close to the Out in Montgomery trial. He's close to the whole thing going on with Karen Reed and Turtle Boy. So I'm very, very, very thankful. And I love it. I love it. I want more creators to get up and get out, you know, get out of your house. It's more to life than sitting behind the computer. We can do so much more out there in the community, And so I always advocate for community service. So please get involved any way you can. Find your passion. If your passion's true crime, go all in, baby. If it's something else, go all in. You know, figure out what is meaningful and passionate to you and get going. You know, just get going. Don't even think about it. Just say, this is what I like. This is what I want to do. How do I get there? That's how we roll. But on the Savannah Soto case, there is some changes in there, especially with Myrta. Okay. Myrta had a significant bond reduction. She was being held for $1.1 million. That bond has been reduced to $600,000. Now, I don't know if she's going to have the money to even bond herself out, even at $600,000. I have no idea what her assets are. I have no idea what her personal situation is, but that shows that the case is not as strong for her as it is for the others, in my opinion. I mean, we still have to look, but this significant bond reduction may be one of two things. She's decided to be a witness, and you know, that has a way of affecting your bond. Okay. Whether it's known or unknown. It's funny how that happens, right? No, but seriously, she did have a significant bond reduction. So I wanted to go over that information with you guys. We're going to have a little bit of lag. I'm working on one computer, but I'm having some computer issues that need to be resolved. So let's just get into this.
And her boyfriend, Matthew Guerra, is now $500,000 closer to being free.
A judge this afternoon drastically reducing the bond of Myrta Romanos a month after she was charged in connection to this case.
Now, I'm not sure, you know, they're talking about at the beginning of all of them, you know, I think they have a strong case against against Christopher and his father, Ramon. Now, Myrta, in all fairness, just locked the door to keep them from finding the gun and threw a towel. I mean, in the grand scheme of things, as horrific as this crime is and how deplorable and despicable it is for a woman to know and even be in the vehicle when you know that a dead pregnant teen lies in a passenger seat of a car, that your stepson or your son or whoever the hell Christopher is to this lady is driving, is just disgusting, despicable, and deplorable. However, in the grand scheme of the law, right? We have to look at the law. She had a very minor participation in this, one that doesn't rise to the level of Christopher's or Ramon's, in my opinion. And I think that that's what is being said here. Now, this is the kicker. If we start going through this and we start seeing bond reductions on Ramon and bond reductions on Christopher,
we know we're going to be in a pickle. That means their case is not as strong as it once was, in my opinion. Again, this is my opinion. This is based on my experience, not yours. So you're going to have to do your own research and figure out the facts for you.
Dylan Collier in court for the 90-minute hearing.
Shackled and dressed in a county-issued jail jumpsuit, Mirta Romanos made her first appearance this afternoon in state district court.
I'm sorry. I wish I was set up in the office, which I'm not, but I wish I had my stuff, because right now we all need to be clapping that that lady is in what she is in. I'm sorry, but I have a more of a problem. Dudes are, not that it's, I'm trying to say this in a way, no way is it going to come out of my mouth probably the way I really want it to come out of my mouth. But I have a huge problem with a female being involved in this crime. Okay? Call me sexist, call me whatever you want. I don't give a rat's rear end. I really don't. I don't. But I have a huge problem with a female, not just a female, a mother, being involved in any of this. It is just something, and I almost want to throw the book at her as hard as possible, because sorry, us females, we have our good days, we have our bad days, we can be mama bears, but at the end of the day, we are nurturing. We are caring. Females are what give life. Yeah, we need men, right? You need to fertilize the egg. I get it. But let's face it. It's the women that take care of everything. Behind every good man is even a better woman. There's reasons we have all these sayings. Okay? So call me sexist, call me whatever, but I'm sorry, I have a huge problem with a mom being involved in this crime. I just do.
The 47-year-old charged with 3 felonies, accused of helping her son Christopher Preciado and...
You notice they say her son now instead of her stepson. So there actually might have been some reality to the fact that this may have been her son. So it could be biological mom, dad, and son. I really super want clarification on that, because law enforcement, and again, it's one of those details that really, in the grand scheme of this crime, is insignificant. It doesn't really matter whether that's her biological son or not. It really doesn't. It's not something that even will probably matter at trial. Okay. Unless it's her stepson, and then, maybe on her end, I don't know. But either way, in the grand scheme of things, it doesn't matter. But it's just one of those details that's just annoying. You know what I'm saying? Like, you just want to know why they couldn't figure it out, whether this woman was his mother or not. I just, for the life of me, you would think that they would have records whether she gave birth to this kid or not. But I don't get it. I don't get why law enforcement has never clarified that. But the news just said her son.
Her husband, Ramon Preciado, moved the bodies of a 9 months pregnant Savannah Soto and her boyfriend, Matthew Guerra, to a Leon Valley apartment complex just a few days before Christmas. Police have said the younger Preciado killed the couple during a drug deal gone wrong.
I'm still questioning about that whole drug deal gone wrong, because even according to law enforcement at the press conference, when Mirta Romanos was arrested, the female sat there and said that the deal had happened earlier that evening. So there's still some haziness on why Matthew and Savannah were back at that house later that night. They've never closed that detail or that worry box I've had, like what led them back. They clearly stated that this deal happened earlier that evening. So by them saying earlier that evening, that implies, they didn't say it right out of their mouth, but that implies that particular event, that particular meeting was not related to the actual deal itself. Right, maybe owed money, Darcy. That's what I was thinking. What brought him back there? But they say it's a drug deal that gone bad. What if it was about either the money or it being short? I don't believe that Matthew Guerra would actually
I mean, he's known. Most people in his position that do the type of work he does, and I'm speaking related to Matthew, typically are proud that their stuff is weighed correctly. You don't have to deal with the BS and stuff like that. Most of these types of people brag about that kind of stuff with their dealings and what have you. So it's hard for me to believe that Matthew would intentionally short something. So it does lead me more down the rabbit hole of what Darcy is saying, of maybe owed money. But I did want to make sure I reminded everybody about that at the beginning, because there was that second press conference that lady did, that deputy did when Mirta Romanos was arrested, clearly stated the deal happened earlier that evening. If you don't believe me, go check it out. Look for the Mirta arrest and the press conference thereafter. She was walked out and put into the vehicle. It pans over and you start seeing a younger deputy with brown hair. She was actually very pretty, a very pretty one. So you go back and take a look at that and make your own determination for yourself. But again, I did want to bring your attention to that, detail.
Attorneys argued that her bonds totaling $1.1 million were extreme and being used by the district attorney's office to punish her and keep her in jail while awaiting indictment. They asked for her bonds to be reduced to $250,000.
So that's interesting, because even the court, or even her defense attorney, was requesting that this be reduced to $250,000. So obviously, the judge must have thought that there was enough culpability on the part of this defendant that it justified a $600,000 bond. So maybe their case isn't as weak as maybe I thought it could be, right? I mean, they did request the $250K, and we know the bond is $600,000, and it should be used as a punishment. Yeah, well, this is the problem. They can't use it. They can't classify it as a punishment because of our due process laws, because you're technically innocent until being proven guilty. And she's not even indicted of the crime. They've only got a probable cause affidavit. That probable cause affidavit needs to be presented before a grand jury, and an indictment needs to be levied upon her. However, many of you guys know and are learning, especially with the Brian Kohberger case, that it's very easy to meet your probable cause threshold for an indictment. And that's why a lot of people are indicted, right? It is not a mini trial. A preliminary hearing is not a mini trial, but it gives the defense an opportunity to at least challenge some of the evidence at the preliminary hearing, as opposed to the grand jury, which is secret, and it's like, boom, you're indicted. You don't even know about it until it's done. So there's differences in different strategies that the state would like to use, and it is being moved by the state. So the state gets to make the decision whether they want to go the grand jury route or the preliminary hearing route.
Objection. There's no evidence of any actions of hers. This is a bond hearing for her. I understand he wants to grandstand for them. That's great. But this is not the venue for that.
Judge Miguel Nahara.
Woo, getting heated up there in that courtroom, huh? Look at that. Heat it up.
Heard evidence from both sides before examining several exhibits behind closed doors, including a graphic photo taken at the crime scene. After returning to the bench, Judge Nahara agreed to reduce Romanos' bonds to $600,000.
He reviewed the case, including some disturbing photos of the crime scene. I can't imagine how hard it's got to be. I don't think, I kind of think we look at these cases analytically in part, and we do. I mean, that's the name of the game. That's what we do. We're looking into these cases, and we're wanting to look at, newsworthiness analytically, what is going on inside that home, And this is one of those cases that just rock you to the core. But I think we forget, these law enforcement officers, these judges, these jurors, these prosecutors and defendants and defense have to review all of this horrible imagery, horrible, horrible imagery. I can't imagine. We're looking at this judge. This judge, let me go back to the judge. If it'll get me back there. You know, he looks like a dad, right? He looks like a father. He looks like somebody that, in all fairness, oh, you can't see him. Hold on. There he is. In all fairness, he looks like somebody that has children. I think it's hard for anybody to put in there, oh, Southern Grammy is in the house. It's nice to see you, love bug. We're praying for you, honey. This man has to look at these photos. And no matter how you try to distance, human is human. And he's got to look at this. And as much as he tries to separate himself, I guarantee this man is looking at his own child in that seat. I'm sure that this judge's heart is literally disgusted that something like this could go on in his community. And he watched it and he did his job. He looked at the information, he evaluated the information, and he made his determination.
Judge Nahara agreed to reduce Romanos' bonds to $600,000, meaning she'll need to come up with around $60,000 in order to post bail.
What remains to be seen is whether Romanos can even post the reduced bond amount.
And that comes back to my original question: is will she even be able to, with the reduction in the case, will she even be able to bond out? And I would have to think that probably not. I have to think that, they do have money. I mean, Ramon was working. She was working. She apparently, we heard several years ago, she got this settlement or whatever from her father's estate. She acquired a house that she gave to Christopher, not the house that they were living in, but a different house altogether. And of course, they had that big, nice house that they were living in there on whatever, that corner lot. I can't remember the names. I'm kind of crazy, but they were just there and they just popped out. Either way, it doesn't matter. That house there, from my understanding, is not the house that's deeded over to Christopher. It's another house that's, I don't know, a little drive away, not far. But either way, that's what we need to know about the Savannah Soto case. It's just an updated information. And so now I want to kind of, switch gears and get over to Crystal Rogers case rather. And like I said, for those that are just tuning in, we're going to see this little intro video one more time before we get into the Crystal Rogers case.
In the Crystal Rogers case, two of Kentucky's highest courts released big decisions today, both ruling against Brooks Houck. Houck is charged with murder in connection to the 2015 disappearance of Crystal Rogers. He was arrested in September and has been in jail on a $10 million bond since then.
Crystal Rogers is a mother of 5 beautiful kids that went missing on the July 4th weekend in 2015. Her boyfriend, Brooks Houck, came under heavy scrutiny about her disappearance back in 2015. Brooks Houck was later arrested after Joseph Lawson, and the case kind of died out. There was some major shocks in the case when the state prosecutor, Brooke Houck's hearing, tells the judge that his brother, Nick, might have been the one that shot Crystal's father, Tommy Ballard. If you're unfamiliar with this case, Crystal is a beautiful young lady that disappeared in 2015, and her father went out looking for her and searching. Well, during a hunting, what many thought was a hunting accident, he was shot to death. And apparently during this hearing for Brooks Houck, it was alleged that his brother Nick may have killed Crystal's father.
Waiting for testing to come back on the firearm we believe was used to murder Tommy Ballard, firearm that we purchased from Nicholas Houck, who was using a fake name.
This case has a lot of twists and turns, and that's not it. In 2013, an officer was ambushed. His name is Jason Ellis. And people are starting to feel that this Jason Ellis is connected to this particular case with Crystal Rogers and Brooks Houck. So now we have 3 people arrested in connection with the death of Crystal Rogers, although her body has not yet been found.
The Chief Justice ruling today, Nelson County Judge Charles Sims will be staying on the case, writing, quote, the defendant failed to demonstrate any disqualifying circumstance that would require the appointment of a special judge. Houck will stay in jail on a $10 million bond until his trial. His next court date is set for February of next year.
Welcome back. It's the time in the show where we reveal something else you need to know. And tonight,
I thought this would be a very interesting little skit for you guys.
a trial date has been set for the three men who were accused of murder in the 2015 disappearance of girlfriend Crystal Rogers. That's Brooks Houck there. After a hearing today for him, his co-defendants as well, Stephen and Joseph Lawson, they're all set to begin trial on February 10th of 2025. She was a mother of five, Crystal Rogers. She went missing from Bardstown, Kentucky back in July of 2015. Her boyfriend, Brooks Houck, had been a suspect for years under a cloud of scrutiny, but only recently was he charged in her death.
That is Joseph Lawson now. He looks a lot different, a lot more healthy than he did when he first went into jail. He looked like he was on his deathbed.
Co-defendants, father and son, Joseph and Stephen Lawson, also appeared in the Kentucky courtroom today. They are charged with criminal conspiracy to commit murder and tampering with physical evidence.
So there you guys have it. I'm not going to, let me just try to stop this so it doesn't go again. There we go. Okay, sorry about that. And then this just goes into it. Will they be going on time? Will this trial start on time? And according to some articles that I'm reading from legal experts, they're saying there's no way that this trial will start February 2025. They gave it a February 2025 start date, a year from today. Not today, not like a full year, but you know what I'm saying. We're in February now. It's February next year. A year from now is when they anticipate this going to trial. But we also know that Brooks Houck is a very wealthy man, okay? That is why his bond is $10 million, because he has $10 million in assets. The courts and the judge believe he will be a flight risk. And that is one of the major determining factors in why they set his bond so high. He has a mother. His mother is well equipped, has been running a farm, well known in the area, been there for a really long time, well known money person. I kept saying, I don't understand how he went so long without any type of crime. I mean, he was arrested. They let him go. And he was arrested again for stealing stuff from a Lowe's. I don't know. I can't remember the amount that he stole from Lowe's, but I'm even understanding that case even went away. It's like really weird stuff. And it gave you this feeling of political capital in the area. The reason why I sniffed that out is because you know what you're looking for when you're looking for stuff. My background is political, and it just smells like they have. I guarantee his mother has donated, and probably himself, to some political campaigns. Okay, whether that has any effect on the outcome of this or not, I'm just saying these people are millionaires. It took an awful long time to get him arrested. That's what I'm saying. Okay. That is what I'm implying too. What does that mean? I don't know. I'm just simply letting you guys know that these are wealthy people, most likely have some political capital, and he went years without being arrested. Just saying. Just saying. So let's go ahead and read this article for you guys, and we'll go through this just so everybody's up to date on this. We got another little video here. Let's see what this one says. I'm not even sure if this one's related. That doesn't even look like the right attorneys. So let me refresh this real quick. Hopefully it doesn't drop you. There it is.
They say possibly three different things, not intentionally, but things happen. But that being said, you're going to have a witness is going to testify, and you're going to have a prosecutor, then 3 sets of attorneys asking questions. So if there is a trial and it doesn't get severed, we're in for a long trial.
What a spectacle that would be.
Absolutely.
So even if they try them together, the 3, you still expect that to be a lengthy affair?
Oh, absolutely.
I can tell you right now, there is no way that Brooks' attorney is going to allow all 3 to be go to court together. It's not going to happen. I don't care how hard the prosecutor is going to push for it. It will not happen. I believe most likely they will all get 3 separate trials. I think as much as they're going to try to commingle even the father and son together and try to say that they acted in concert with one another and were part of their collective crime. I have a funny feeling all 3 of them will get their own separate trials, but I definitely 100% believe that Brooks Houck is going to be separated from at least them 2. Whether they're separated from each other or not, I'm not going to make a determination at this point. But I do not believe that I believe there's enough case law supporting them severing the 3.
You get one witness up, that attorney goes for an hour, the next attorney goes for an hour, the next attorney, and you can see where this is going.
Back to the trial date, Brian Butler did sort of object to the 1-year date. Do you expect that will happen? Objections will come, and that the judge may reconsider it?
Absolutely, for a couple of reasons. Number one, there's going to be motions filed at some point on the evidence.
Yeah, there's got to be motions for motions in limine. There are going to be motions for suppression. There's going to be protective orders. We've seen all of these things, done in the Brian Kohberger case. So we're going to be expecting a lot. And I'm not familiar with Brooks' attorney. Maybe we need to do some background on him because you know how I feel. I want Brooks to have the best of the best because on the back end of this, it prevents a lot of different types of appeals. Is it going to stop the appeals process at all? No, there's still going to be a lot of appeals, but at least these are not going to be the appeals that are going to be established, ineffectiveness of counsel and stuff like that. You really want to try very hard to get away from that. One, it's bad for the attorney, right? It's bad for the attorney. It looks bad on their record. That's one. But, you get a few of those. You expect it to happen in any of these trials. And sometimes, attorneys will miss something and they'll tell their client, if they're a good attorney, they'll say, look, this is what I missed. They're honest. They don't try to lie, deceive, or whatever. And they give them a path forward for the ineffectiveness of counsel. It's not unheard of for an attorney to even tattle on himself to his client. I've seen it before. So
any good lawyer like Brian Butler is going to file those motions to exclude evidence, to suppress evidence, to keep certain things out, to keep certain things from to be in front of the jury. And as that develops, strategy will change and trial dates may change.
I believe because just like in the Brian Kohberger case, what are we dealing with in the Brian Kohberger case? We're dealing with challenges of the evidence, them arguing that the evidence does, they may even challenge the indictment, a few bites at the apple on the indictment to stop the clock. But my understanding is they've already waived their rights to a speedy trial. I'll have to look at their file, but that's my understanding. So this clock really doesn't exist, but it does exist, especially with discovery. There's discovery timings and for whatever reason, people wait until, they have to look through all their discovery. They've got to put it in a system. They've got to organize it in such a way to distribute it to the defense. And there's going to be some challenges on that. We see it all the time. We see it in the Brian Kohberger case. I anticipate this being very similar to Alec Murdaugh as far as the information that we're going to be receiving in this particular trial. There's a lot of things that are similar in the Alec Murdaugh case, as well as the Brooks, Houck, and Crystal Rogers case. The parties are wealthy. That's one. Even though Alec Murdaugh's victims were found, Paul and Maggie were found at the scene, Crystal Rogers has never been found. But he has a huge, huge farm. Moselle for Alec Murdaugh was like a huge, huge farm. So we have there's a lot of similarities, some details that seem similar between
Alec Murdaugh and Brooke Houck. I'm very ultra curious about how Brooks acquired his money, because there's one little detail that really didn't sit well with me. And it was an interview that Nick, his brother, gave law enforcement. Nick is the most uncooperative witness. He went out of his way to make sure law enforcement knew he was not going to cooperate. But he did it in it was the weirdest thing I ever seen. I've never seen somebody not cooperate so like he wouldn't move, and it was like, he doesn't know nothing, right? He doesn't even know his brother. Like, he never seen his brother. Like, he waves to his brother every now and again, but other than that, he never sees it, doesn't see his mom, never at the farm, but he's at the farm 3 times a week. It was the weirdest interview I had ever heard in my life, but you could clearly see he was absolutely being defiant and not cooperating very respectfully. He was the nicest uncooperating witness I've ever seen. I gotta be honest. It was weird. And, but it was something about a piece of property that they went to, and it was Brooks' property. And he was adamant, no, that's Brooks' property, but it's in his mother's name. And so I'm just like, why would Brooks pay for a property and put it in his mother's name? It doesn't make sense. Somebody's like, oh, well, maybe he wanted to gift it to his mother. No, because in the grand scheme of things, people of a certain net worth, they do things called estate planning, okay, and retirement planning and all these other types of planning because they have net worths and they don't want the government taking their money, okay, especially if something happens to them. So they set up these plans to protect their nest egg and distribute it to their family. It doesn't make logical sense for a younger member of the family to pony up a lot of money for a property and put it in a much older person's name, because you never know what will happen. She could literally die of a heart attack tomorrow, like that. And now he has to pay to get that property back. It's not going to transfer right. It causes a whole host of issues, tax-wise and otherwise. It seems like he was trying to hide this property from him, like from people knowing about it for him. He was hiding something. It made me feel like it felt really drug dealer-y, if you know what I mean. It just didn't make sense to me. It still can't. I still have looked at this several different ways and still can't justify it logically why a younger person that pays for a property would put it in an older person's name, especially if it's not that older person's primary residence. It just doesn't make sense to me. It felt really, I don't know, just sleazy, I guess. Just not right. I don't know. It just doesn't feel right to me. That's what I'm. Let me see what else. I haven't been watching the chat, so let me see. Okay, so the details are, so let's just go over the details of the Crystal Rogers case. Crystal Rogers was dating Brooks Houck. They had a child together. Crystal was a mother of 4 other children. I'm a little hazy on where the other children were, because it appeared that Crystal lived in a home with Brooks and their child. Now, I don't know if the kids were just visiting their fathers or if the fathers have custody of the other children or how the other children are being taken care of or whatever. I do not know. Okay. I didn't look into that aspect of the case. I'm looking at the true crime aspect of this case. We kind of have the victim and the perpetrator. So I didn't really look into the background of the other children. But we definitely know she was staying with Brooks and her son on the July 4th weekend. And Brooks' story was that he woke up, that they all went home, and that he woke up the next morning at like 9 o'clock or something like that, early in the morning, and she was gone. And she's never been back. She just left everything behind, including her son, and just walked out the door and never returned. Nobody believed the story because she had all these kids that she loved very dearly, and she would never leave them. Everybody said she would never leave her children. So it just didn't make sense. She's never been heard again. He has a huge company. He's worth $10 million. And somebody believed that he was responsible for her disappearance.
It's home away from home.
Tommy.
It's a comfortable setting and a comfortable
I'm on this thing, and it's going to keep, it just popped over to a commercial. So let me see if I can get back to it.
I just think it's a wonderful
Sorry, guys.
place. So I
was
feel
talking
lighted.
too much. If I would have gotten back to it, we wouldn't have had this.
Our apartments are very thoughtfully laid out.
Oh, come on.
And they provide.
Today at 5:30, we are continuing.
And certainly you have 1.1. Usually prosecutors and judges like to try defendants together. And the primary reason is judicial economy. You don't want to have witnesses get on the stand 3 different times. What happens? They may say possibly 3 different things, not intentionally, but things happen. But that being said, you're going to have a witness is going to testify, and you're going to have a prosecutor, then 3 sets of attorneys asking questions. So if there is a trial and it doesn't get severed, we're in for a long trial.
It's going to be severed. My prediction is it's going to be severed, and I've stated that. I definitely know that Brooks, his attorney, is going to get him severed from the other 2. Period. There's just enough case law that it just makes sense. It makes sense, and like this guy is saying, it's going to be very difficult, and that's why they sever them. It's very, very difficult to run these 3 trials, and even so with the witnesses. And what happens if the witness misspeaks on one of the trials? There's so many things that could go wrong with severing all of them and keeping them all together. So, but it is my professional opinion that at least Brooks, if nothing more, Brooks is going to be severed from the other 3, I predict. So take that for what you will. Take that for what you will. So let's go ahead and move on over. The discovery in Crystal Rogers' death includes evidence in 2 other unsolved murders. We've been wondering about this, folks. We've been wondering about this. Get this up. I'm interested in here. Shay McAllister right here. She has done amazing on this entire case. She is the go-to. Like whenever I need some information, I go to Shay McAllister's Facebook. She really does give us the latest and updated information for somebody like me that's seeking accurate information, somebody that's dedicated to this case. She is dedicated to this case. She has a passion for this case. I love it. She does not let this case go. That's what I love in mainstream media. People like Shay McAllister. She's few and far between this day and age. She really is. Because usually it's just a clip here, a clip here, a segment here, a segment here. There's no real investigative work that's being provided to the public. She's doing that. She's doing a very, very good job at just that. And just want to, throw a plug for her because she has been doing amazing.
And one of the top mysteries in Bardstown is continuing here tonight. In Nelson County, there are 4 families waiting for answers in 4 different high-profile cases. Hello, everybody, and thanks for joining us. I'm Doug Proffitt.
And I'm Shay McAllister. One of those families got big news last week with an arrest in the Crystal Rogers case, but her family isn't the only one paying attention.
Do you feel like an arrest in Crystal's case is bringing you closer to some movement in Jason's?
I think it's hard for us because there hasn't been a lot of new information on Jason's case from the very beginning.
So Jason Ellis, for everybody that does not know anything about Jason Ellis is an officer that was ambushed. And I truly believe that these cases are separated. I believe that Crystal Rogers' case had the most traction. And I think that in order to get, because Jason Ellis's case happened prior to Crystal Rogers, 2013. Crystal was in 2015. Her father, Tommy, was in 2016. And I believe there might have been the Netherlands. I can't remember when they were. Were they 17 or 14? They were all really close together. It was really weird for this very, very small town that these heinous crimes were happening. But we looked into Jason Ellis, I was just, even in that intro video that I did at the beginning of the case that we just watched before we got into her case,
on this segment, it even brought, this Jason Ellis into it, and how people are thinking that they have, they're connected somehow. We did the research. We looked into every aspect of this case, every aspect of Jason Ellis, every possibility, and I cannot for the life of me find any linkage whatsoever with the Crystal Rogers and Brooks Houck case. None. Not through even though his brother worked with this guy, and his brother is accused of killing Tommy Ballard, not accused, allegedly attempted to accuse during a hearing by the state prosecutor. He basically alleged that Nick potentially murdered Tommy Ballard. But all this time, even since then, Nick hasn't been arrested. So how true is that information that state prosecutor have? I don't know. Because I would think at this point they have ballistics. They got to be able to know whether that gun was the one that used, and they know that they purchased it from Tommy Ballard. So what? Nick Houck. So what gives? And why isn't Nick in jail? So we're still looking for information related to that, but we still haven't seen the arrest. Jason Ellis, on the other hand, for the longest time, I truly did believe he was connected. But when we got to his portion of the story to try to connect the dots so we could show our audience how he was connected to Brooks or Nick or the family or Crystal or any of them, we couldn't. There was nothing there. The only minor connection was the fact that Nick worked with Jason at the time of his death. That's it. You couldn't find the big case that would lose this officer his life, so much so that he had to be ambushed. It was something else, in my opinion. I don't know what, but I will be shocked if he truly is connected to Crystal Rogers' case somehow, or Brooks Houck. I would be shocked, because I can't for the life of me see it. When we got there to that portion of the case, we were trying to connect it. I literally spent weeks and weeks and weeks trying to find the connection. I went all over Kentucky. We were looking at the drug avenue, the robbery avenue, any kind of big stories. There was even a bootleg of some, $100 and some $1,000 worth of theft from one of the distilleries there. I mean, we were looking at literally everything related to Crystal's case, and how her or Brooks connected to Jason Ellis, and we just couldn't find it. So again, his case is going to be going forward. And before we finish, I want to make sure that we bring in Sherry Ballard.
She was, the day I reported her missing, I knew that minute that something bad was wrong. I think now we just, even my husband made a comment one time, because he knew how upset I was. And he's like, well, Sherry, maybe they just put her somewhere. And I'm like, what are you saying? Do you think they put her somewhere and they're just going to give her back? They're not going to give her back. So I knew in my heart, my daughter was never coming home.
That's such a sad reality.
I always kept that window of opportunity of hope. I didn't never close that small window. But in my heart, I knew she wasn't. For me to bring her home, and me just to know where she's at. It's so hard for a parent to just drive down the road not knowing where your daughter's at, or where.
And we have a lot of these mothers, one such mother, Jennifer Santinello. These mothers, I almost want to start, I don't know. And these mothers, they all have the same story. They all have the same heartbreak. It's just, I don't know. Well, hello there, pretty. I see you. I see the name change, but I can tell who it is. Just by the way you come into the chat. I wish I had our pimp walk button, but I don't. I'm in office number 2. It's nice to see you, Love Bug. I'm almost done with my show. I'm like, we're like an hour in, and I've still got a lot of work to do today. So I just wanted to come back. I'm going to come back later this afternoon, though.
I'm going to be coming back later this afternoon. We have just a few more little videos left, and then I'm going to be signing off. Vendor 420, don't attack me, but I think Jennifer's mother had some. She didn't. And I'm not going to attack you over that, but I know for a fact she didn't. There's not a question in my mind. 100%, absolutely 100% no, she had nothing to do with it. Actually know exactly where she was during this entire time that Layla, that whole entire, the 27th. So there's literally no way. I know it, just looking at somebody saying, well, there was a fight over a kid. Well, you have to, physically be in the same area as the person in order to do something to them physically. And in this case, there's absolutely 1,000% in my mind that I know for a fact Jennifer Santinello had absolutely nothing, and I mean nothing, to do with her daughter's disappearance. So I mean, if that makes you feel a little easier, though, Thunder, I know you don't come in here to try to harass or anything. You're just really, that's your opinion. That's your opinion. You shouldn't have anybody sway it. But if it makes you feel any type of comfort, I know for 1,000% that there's no possibility of that being true. So take it for what you will. Do your own research, obviously, and continue to, and I appreciate your perspective. I really do. And in any other case, in any other situation where I didn't know 1,000%, we would entertain that. But for me, it's laughable at this point that people, I shouldn't say that. It sounds so disrespectful to you. I'm sorry. I didn't mean it like that. I really didn't mean it like that. But it's because people don't know, people haven't really gone out there and done their own work. And I think that's more in line with why than, and why they continue to imply that. And of course, you as an audience member are just listening to everybody else's, and of course, you're just trying to put the pieces together that you hear. But no, she has to be in the physical location, and she was never in the physical location of anywhere that Layla was. And it's unfortunate, because I honestly believe if things would have been different, Jennifer would have been in the same area as Layla, and the situation would be much different. That's my opinion. So again, take it for what you will, but there's a lot of moms here that are going through all of this, and I just, they have, it's like they have different types of pains, but they all have this emptiness, this pain that will never, ever go away. This scar that runs so deep, and that deep scar is different for each one of these mothers. It's not the same because they didn't have the same children, right? And their children mean something more special to them than the next person, right? So they all have their own injuries, their own scars, their own personal scars, their own children. It's just, it's sad. It's sad to watch, but you hear these stories over again, and you know that their pains are not identical, but they all have this pain. And Sherry's no different. I had a chance to see Sandy Smith. I got a chance to see, that's Stephen Smith's mom. I gave her a hug, and I have to say, for the first time, I saw one of the biggest smiles on that lady's face, Sandy Smith's face. She looked very, very happy, and it wasn't because of being there for Alec Murdaugh. It's because, like she told me, she believes 2024 is going to be the year for her son. That's what she told me. She said 2020, she had the biggest smile on her face. And I said, I just felt like giving you a hug. I said, I know you need it. And I introduced myself. I said, I've been covering your son's story. And I said, and I just wanted to tell you that I'm really sorry for your loss. And she just smiled at me, and she just said, 2024 is going to be our year. And I said, I pray to God it is. I can't wait. So I'll leave it at that. Yes, I want to go, but I don't want to go as a, I want to go into the arena and meet people, but I think the cost of CrimeCon might just be out of budget for me this year. We might have to put it on the to-dos for next year, because I'm already going to be out on the road in 2025. I'm going, I don't know if you know, but I'm packing up the house in 2025, and I'm renting it out for a year. and I'm hitting the road for a full year and doing this, just literally immersing myself in true crime. And also there's also some other stuff that some must-haves for me. And those must-haves for me are, going around and advocating. And the only way I can do that is be out where I need to be, meeting people face to face, belly to belly, and doing my job and advocating. So 2025 is going to be a really big year for Bullhorn Betty. It's going to be a big year for all the channels that we're associated with, our political channel, as well as our 2 true crime channels. And we might build another channel. We might build a van life channel. Who knows, right? Who knows? Who knows? But I do not expect it to be, butterflies and sunshine, right? I expect that I'm going to have some really frustrating moments out on the road. I anticipate it. I am going to be humbled by it. And I'm going to continue just to be me. And I'm sure I'm going to cuss a lot. I'm sure there's going to be times when I'm ready to kick the tire. And that's okay. I want the experience of being on the road for a year covering these cases, So that's what we're going to do for 2025. 2025, I don't know where we're going to go. I don't know what we're going to do, but I know we will be on the road 100% of the time. So now I may leave sane and come back crazy. Okay. I may leave with this beautiful, gorgeous locks of hair. I might come back bald because I might pull all my hair out. I don't know. But you know what I do know is I'm going to be on the road for a year, and I'm forcing myself to do it. That's why I'm renting the house out. So I do have a backup plan. For the times that I'm just tired of being on the roads and I'm getting a little homesick. I've got a room. Okay. Now, it's not really my room. It's my little sister's room. But every now and again, I'm pretty sure Mama Bullhorn wouldn't mind having me camp out at least for a night or two. I'm sure I'm welcome at least at my mama's house. Actually, Mom would be begging me. I can always tell when my mom is missing me, or I forgot to call her or something like that, because I'll get this little, news break. My mom doesn't send me anything, and then all of a sudden I get a news break, news alert, and it's like, okay, hi Mom, nice to see you. But if I don't respond, then the next one will come. Then the next one will come. Next thing you know, I'm getting hit with 3 news breaks articles back to back to back, where the phone's just going zzz, 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 zzz. And I just look at Olivia and I said, look, I need to go take a minute. My mom's missing me. You moms do that. You do that. You do it. How many other moms are like that? If your kid doesn't, you're like, I don't want to call them, and I don't want to, let me just send them some random article. No, I shouldn't say some random. It's always true crime articles, but it's just cute. I can always tell. And because when she does that, I always look back and I'm like, I haven't talked to my mom in like 2 days or 3 days or something like that. And then I start getting those back. So I'm like, I've equated it. Now, whether she intentionally does it or it's subconscious, I do equate it to every time I forget to call my mom for a day or two. Next thing, all right. My mom, I teased my mom about it. I said, you must be missing me. You can camp at all. Well, thank you, Annabelle. I appreciate that. God bless you. God bless you. All right, so let's see what else we got for the trial date. Ooh, we got some inside footage. He's bald. They took his hair, guys. Took his hair. Let me make sure we got it on here. I just clicked myself off. I sure did. Dad burn it. I hate when I do that. Which one is that? That's the trial date. No, that's that one. Okay, there we go. I think we're going to hear. Sorry, I got a little bit of lag, so it's taking just a second. There we go. Oh, it's not going to let me sign in? Oh, well, let me watch it without signing in, but you guys can at least see him. That's what he looks like right there. In his uniforms, he looks like a criminal. Got the shackles on, putting his hand out, shaking his attorney's hand. His attorney's looking at him eyeball to eyeball. They look like they're having some bromance here. Look at that. Straight eyeball to eyeball. Like, are you getting me out of this shit, man? He's like, I'm trying, dude. I'm trying. You ain't making it easy, buddy. We have and I think that's really it. Is this it? Charge. Oh, we do have a good footage here. Let me share this one.
Angel Soft toilet paper is strong.
Thanks for staying with us tonight at 6. I'm Hayden Rostevsky.
And I'm Scott Reynolds. For the first time, all 3 suspects in the murder and disappearance case of Crystal Rogers were in the same courtroom.
For the first time, they were all together.
Hearing happening just a few hours ago in Nelson County.
WDRB's Fallon Glick and Valerie Chin are in Bardstown tonight for us with the latest developments in the case. Hey, guys.
There is so much interest in the Crystal Rogers case, not just here in Bardstown, but in Louisville and nationwide.
That time we
don't
learned
want to hear
in
that.
a jail suit, his mother, sister, girlfriend, and other support.
Oh, he's got a girlfriend. He's got a girlfriend.
Trial date was set for February.
Yeah, and I think it will.
Special prosecutor Shane Young says 1.1 terabytes of discovery and evidence have been turned over to defense attorneys so far, with even more to be handed over next month. Young says it took his office several months to get through, so a February 2025 trial should be enough time for defense attorneys. Included in that discovery, 2 other high-profile Bardstown murder cases.
It took a six-man mission, 6 months to go through the discovery, and that included Ellis and Ballard.
Jason Ellis, a police officer who was ambushed and killed, and Tommy Ballard, Roger's father, who was also shot and killed. Houck's family left court without talking, but a family friend who did.
They're still implying, you guys heard it, they're still implying that there's Jason Ellis could be potentially connected to this. And I still don't see how. I really don't. We had tried to connect this thing. We even saw the article from the prior chief. The prior chief of this outfit, this Bardstown Police Department, said that at the time he saw no connection whatsoever. So I'm very interested in how they're planning on connecting Jason Ellis to this case. You know, because we looked at this, and it does, again, there is the possibility, because I still can't figure out the whole how Brooks acquired his mass $10 million worth of property. And again, it comes down, you heard me call his mother Mafia Mom. Like, his mother looks like a mafia person. She does. She looks like she's a badass. Okay? She looks like somebody you don't really want to mess with, to be honest with you. She looks mean and evil, if you ask me. That's just my personal opinion and I have not been around her. Just some previews. I judge people, okay? I don't care. People can say I'm judgmental. Yes, I am judgmental. I judge everybody, right? I judge myself. I judge myself more than anybody else. Believe that. So do you. Trust me. But I judge people. And when I look at her and look at how her behaviors are when her son is in jail, it doesn't look like she valued Crystal very much. She looks evil to me. And so you've got this mom, you got these 2 sons, you got Brooks that has all this money. You got the brother that's like the putz of the family. Nick Houck is the putz. Like, mom's got money, brother's got money, and, you know, Nick is just this bottom dweller. You know, he doesn't live up to the standards of his brother and mother. So, but Nick did work with Jason. And there was a drug ring that was funneling drugs through this area of Kentucky from Florida. We did learn that. But we couldn't connect any of that stuff to Nick, Brooks, or Jason. So where does Jason Ellis come in? What does he know, or what did he see? What was he a witness of? There was branches in the middle of his way home. Somebody knew he was going home that way, but there was a lot of stuff going on that night, that day with Jason Ellis that nobody would have known, that was different from any other day. One, he was not driving his patrol car. His patrol car was being serviced. Therefore, he did not have his canine. That was weird. Who would have known that? Then he didn't leave work on time. He didn't. He had gotten an arrestee, and he was booking that arrestee into the Bardstown County Jail. So he didn't leave on time. It was a little odd for him that day. So who would have known that he wasn't leaving on time that day? Or did they just lie in wait? How could they stop that exit for that much longer without having somebody else approach that exit? It was really weird. Things don't match up. It almost implied somebody that knew exactly where Jason Ellis was at this specific time would have been the only one that knew he was going home at that specific time. So there is some oddities, and that's what brought us back to Nick Houck, because Nick Houck was working with him that night. Nick Houck would have known that he didn't leave work on time that night. So there are some red flags here, without a doubt, absolute red flags. But what do those red flags mean? There's no connection that I can see. But again, we are going off public information. Public information, some details from people that are in and around the area. But that's pretty much it. We do not know what law enforcement has. Honey barbecue Frito twist. That does sound good. That does sound good. All right. And then what else do I have? I think that's about it. I think that's really it. Oh, and if you guys want to see that healthy stud that came in there, I shouldn't call him a stud. I was just being facetious. I was joking. There he is right there. You see that sunken in, the guy all the way. Well, I guess it's all the way to this side, right? To the right of your screen, the dark-haired one. You see Brooks to the left. You see Ron, what was it? No, it was what was his father's name? I can't remember. But Joseph Lawson is the one with the dark hair over to the right. And he see how sick he looks there? He looks like he was still on drugs because his face is all sunken in. He looks like on deathbed. And he was just wheeled into that courtroom, and he was much heavier. He looked healthy. He got color back in his skin. And I had somebody come here because I called him a drug addict and said, he's not on drugs. Well, I hate to tell you, the proof is in the pudding. We just saw him wheeled into the courtroom, and I could tell you that was a much healthier man. And typically when you look like he did in the hospital with all those sunken in cheeks, it's a very strong indicator that he is actively using drugs. I don't make the rules. So that's really all I have for the update for Crystal Rogers. We will come back here later this afternoon. If anything breaks on that case, I'm going to look into the Savannah Soto case a little bit more. And I've got some videos that I need to pump out. For those, I know a lot of the people that are still here, we have 80 people in the chat. I am going to go ahead and play for you the Trump pre-rally. I was hesitant. We have the new channel, Bullhorn Betty for President. It was the old Bullhorn Betty, the BETTIETC channel that I told you would be turned over to a political channel. I told you guys that up front. That has been now converted to a political channel. So it's Bullhorn Betty for President. It's going to be a politically unifying channel. We're going to be talking about issues that affect each and every one of us. It's not going to be a party line issue, a right or left issue. I'm not going to be discussing wedge issues on that channel. I'm only going to be discussing core issues that we're all facing. I'm going to only be talking about politicians that meet those core issues, that are going to resolve those core issues. And we are going to be, opening it up to people's opinions, because we need to find a way to unify. And I think unifying, especially across political aisles, is through education. And I think that it's not to sway anybody or to change anybody's mind, because let's face it, I'm a normal person. That means I vote my conscience. Do I support President Trump? I do. I absolutely do. Did I support Obama twice? I did. And I also watched Obama laugh in America's face and call us stupid for allowing him to get the Medicare for all tax in when he told us it wasn't a tax, and how stupid we were, right? Let's not forget that. My mind, I will always remember. I do one of the most in-depth investigations with these cases. We go out to these places. Trust me, when it comes to politics, I am ruthless, just as ruthless as I am with true crime. So if I am supporting somebody, you bet your ass they've been through the Bullhorn Betty experience. I have turned their life upside down. I can tell you that. There's a reason why I do what I do. So here's why. If you're interested.
Help the Americans first. We need real help here in America.
We want to save America, and we truly believe that Donald Trump is the way to save America.
We need Donald J. Trump in office. 2024, baby.
It's all about documenting the experience of being a front row Joe.
Bringing prosperity back to America, Mr. Trump.
It's about getting America and American people back to work.
We need Trump back into office. Why? Because corruption has infiltrated Washington, D.C. President Biden is leaving us blind, so we are dependent. We need to bring money back to the Americans' pocket.
It's about making sure mom and dad can have one job and spend time with their children instead of allowing our education department to raise our children.
If you guys don't know, Donald Trump will be here tomorrow at 2 p.m. We need lower taxes, lower gas. We need to close our border. Shut off the fentanyl coming into our country and kill children. We're not opposed to helping others. We're just saying America first. We're into all Americans. We want all Americans to be prosperous, and right now we've got a corrupt country.
If I didn't believe it, I wouldn't be here. I can promise you that.
Love me or hate me, but this is me. God bless you.
As you wake up in the morning, you want to find the latest, greatest information about criminal cases and have an intuitive conversation about the suspects associated with these cases. Head over to the Bullhorn Betty channel on YouTube. Get breaking news right here on the Bullhorn Betty channel. Welcome to the Bullhorn Betty Coffee Club. Enjoy your stay and enjoy your day.